An important clarification that must be made is that differing argumentative claims do not necessarily constitute as contradictions in a debate. Take, for example, the motion, "This House would assassinate dictators." Let's say opening government runs the argument that assassination leads to the collapse of a regime and that the ensuing infighting between successors is going to lead to a very vulnerable state in which the regime can be toppled through military intervention or a rebellion. They then proceed to provide several reasons as to why this is good, because it puts an immediate stop to the repression that exists under dictatorship. If closing government, given the opening government case in this debate, were to run an argument that states that assassination may not necessarily lead to the immediate collapse of a regime, but instead lead to an opportunity for more moderate segments of the regime to take control and replace the dictatorship with a more democratic form of government, what I would say is this argument may implicitly say that OG's argument is less likely, but this is not a contradiction in the sense that closing government should not be credited for this argument at all. In fact, this is a valid argument that can potentially supersede their opening simply because it is more charitable and more realistic. So now you might be asking, what then are contradictions? Contradictions, especially from closing teams, are claims that exist in direct tension with the model and/or the basic facts that underlie the motion. For example, it would be a contradiction if closing government were to make an argument premised on assassination being defined as killing off the subordinates of the dictators to pressure the dictator to surrender. Or if closing government made a claim that stated that this debate is confined to dictators who are already imprisoned as opposed to dictators who are in power. Anything else that pertains to the likelihood of certain outcomes or characterizations is inherently argumentative, and thus is merely among a set of reasons that should be evaluated in the debate for its own persuasiveness. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thank you everyone and have fun.